So checking out Elon, yesterday we made a video, we were predicting a move down to the 786 Fibonacci. That was an 11% move at the time. It looks like we've kind of just taken it out, so what should we look for now? So like I said, we were predicting this 10% move. We've overshot it a little bit. We're really falling down quite hard for Elon right now, so let's see what's going on in the lower time frames, and then we will see what's going on in the higher time frames. Now, to start with, I'm not overly impressed with the price action on Elon today, and there's a few reasons why, but the main reason that I want to highlight is a lot of the dog coins are pumping today. If you haven't heard the news, Shiba Inu was listed on Robinhood, Robinhood, and you know, as you can see, even though Shiba's down from the peak today, it's still up 16%. Dogecoin is still managing to bounce, even though this looks like a dead cat bounce to me, 2%. But Elon is really teetering on, you know, nothing. Like, it looks like we've already wiped out the games that we put in today. And if we focus on the lower time frames, you can see in the past 8 hours, volume has really started to step in on the downside. And we are seeing, you know, this squeeze mob. I mean, it came down to the heartline reset bearish momentum. I believe it tried to reset earlier. I was looking at this like 4 hours ago, and this momentarily turned dark red, meaning that momentum was starting to fade. But it looks like we filled this in red, so I mean, we're still picking up momentum very slowly to the downside, especially after this retest of the EMAs. It's not really looking good how we're accumulating this bearishness. I mean, this has fired short for the past 6 days. And I believe on the daily we're still along, but if we keep on, you know, traveling to the side like this, then eventually this is going to fire a fake out. And was it this that had a fake out before? No, it must have been a different coin, ignore that. But nonetheless, the short-term moving average on these EMA ribbons is really starting to head down. So in the next couple of days, if we don't manage to, you know, fire back bullish, then we're really going to have a hard time, you know, getting back into this bullish structure for DogelonMars. Now, if we look at what's going on the daily, I highlighted this 2 days ago. I said we really needed to bounce from these EMAs and this 618 fib, because if we don't, we're going to turn the squeeze mom daily momentum indicator to the downside. And that's exactly what we've done. We're really, you know, accruing, you know, this bad moves to the downside. I mean, it's not really looking too good. If we're basing this on momentum indicators. Now, I wanted to give a slightly different view as well. So if we come over to here, let me get rid of these and slap on the money flow index and the relative strength, because these tell a slightly different story. So it all kind of ties into one, in my opinion. What I personally think this chart is telling me is that we could be coming down, you know, potentially another 7% or so to backtest this macro trend line. Now, if we zoom out, you can see this has been a huge trend line that's been in play since the 30th of October last year. And we recently broke above it, but we didn't backtest it. So I think this would be a perfect time for Elon to come down another 7%, backtest this and start to head off to the races. Nonetheless, I'm really not calling this as, like, you know, a super likely target. I already think this retest of the 786, you know, this general area, this is where I predicted that we would bottom between the 786 and this ascending or now descending trend line that we've got down here. So I personally don't see Elon dropping more than another 7% or so. So I am personally going to be accumulating a tiny bit of Elon at the end of this video, and this will make sense when I show you the RSI and the MFI. Now, 4 hourly doesn't really matter. Let's come over to the daily. And I wanted to show you the money flow indicator and how it's all the way down here at 29. Now, where have we previously bottomed on the money flow indicator? This was your worst case scenario. We bottomed at 7. But previously, you can see we've bottomed at 20, we bottomed at 20, we bottomed at 25, 24, and, you know, I'd say that's 18 or 19. So right now, I'd probably say the average of the bottoms is right down here in the oversold region on the MFI, which is 20. We're currently sitting at, you know, 29.30 right now. So I really wouldn't be calling for much lower price targets. And when I say it's likely we're going to come down to here, do bear in mind I'm also saying that I'm accumulating at this region because I'm really not going to, you know, kick and fight over a 7% decrease. Like, I'm gonna start accumulating Elon now, and if we come down another 7%, I'll just accumulate a bit more Elon. Obviously, not none of this is financial advice, it's just my opinion, but looking at this, we've got rejected off the 786 anyway, so I mean, it does look likely that we are going to come down another 7%, but the point of the matter is, I don't think we should necessarily be 100% hoping that we're going to come down here, because if, like I said, with the MFI, it looks like we are really, really close to a bottom. If we look at the RSI has previously bottomed at 30, 32, 24, and I mean, it had a reversal here, but it didn't reach oversold, so I wouldn't count that. So the same with the RSI, we really bottom in this oversold region where the 30 is. Now these are slightly different. Oversold for MFI is 20, oversold overbought is 80. For the RSI, it is 70 and 30 respectively, and we're all the way up here at 40, 42. So while the RSI and the MFI, and especially these momentum indicators, are telling me that that Elon could potentially have a quick flush out to the downside, I really do think the bottom is near. The only thing that I'm slightly weary on right now on Elon is actually something that's going on in Bitcoin's chart. So if you don't know, basically all the altcoins follow what Bitcoin is doing. A lot of these dog coins aren't going to get rearing up for their bull runs until Bitcoin decides that it's bottomed and it's going to enter its bull run. And if we look at what's going on Bitcoin right now, for the past week I've been predicting this move down to 39.5. We came down to 39.5, and this is where I said we really need to see a strong reversal. We haven't had that today. We've got insane selling volume coming in right now. If you look at this, you can just see that the price action was pushed all the way down from 40,700 to where it is now, 39,700. We've been pushed down $1,000 while we're still up 0.5% on the day. We have completely wiped out this 3% gain. We're now sitting at a 0.5% of a gain. So I'm not liking what I'm seeing on Bitcoin right now. I'm really not liking how momentum is still picking up to the downside. Even on the lower time frames, like, we're still picking up bearish momentum to the downside. So I do think it's possible Bitcoin could at least come down to 39.5 again. Is it possible Bitcoin could have a fake out below 39.5? Yes, it is seeming possible. The momentum indicators are calling for it. So I do think potentially Elon could be setting up for a quick fake out. Maybe it's not going to be a 7% drop to this trend line. Maybe we're going to come back down and backtest the lows at 16% of a drop. But nonetheless, like I said, I do believe the bottom is near for Elon. I think the MFI calls it perfectly. And while I don't necessarily think we're at the absolute bottom right now, I'm really not going to fight to accumulate Elon for 7 or 16% cheaper. I'm going to take the price that I've got right now. I think we've already come down 10%, back tested the 786 like I predicted, so I'm looking to accumulate in this range. That is basically all I see for Elon. Once again, short-term indicators are really telling me we could have another quick flush out to the downside, but looking at this in a macro scale, looking at the money flow indicator and the RSI, these are both telling me that we are going to bottom very soon if we haven't already bottomed today. So in my opinion, I think we're at least going to come down another 7%. That is just my opinion, but like I said, I'm not betting on that. I'm doing the opposite really. I'm accumulating in this region, and I'm going to dollar cost average as we go down. If we go down another 7%, I'll have another buy order. If we go down another 16%, I'll have another buy order, because I do think when the bull run gets going, when all these dog coins start running, I think Elon is going to tear faces, and I think it's going to outperform a lot of the meme coins, Dogecoin and Shiba specifically. So that is all I see. Elon, very 50-50 right now, but I do think the bottom is near in the macro term. That is all I've got for you. Once again, not financial advice. Cowboy out. Peace.